Ellarukku Namaskara. Gopi K, your host for today. On behalf of VHS Karnataka, very warm welcome to all the wonderful viewers for the 39th edition of Online Samvada, brought to you by VHS Karnataka. We had 38 amazing episodes of Samvada from VHS Karnataka until now, including last Friday's enlightening session on science and Hinduism in Bharata's classic dance by Dr. Bhegra Venkatesh. What an amazing session was that. Hold on a second. Akhanda Bharata's Itihasas goes back to many yugas. Bharatiya civilization has evolved knowledge system. Our ancestors have shared those wisdom using culture, values, traditions through Vaidika Vijnanam, Itihasas, Puranas, Upanishads, and so on and so forth. Of late, some of us are proudly saying our ancestors have invented zero. Outsiders are saying India has given zero to the world. Is that it? What nobody talks about is to arrive at the idea of zero, there should have been already a well evolved knowledge system well before in Vaidika Vijnanam, Ganitam, and so on and so forth. Today's so called Arabic numericals has its origin in Bharat. Algebra, maths, science, astronomy, art, architecture, metallurgy, and so on and so forth has its origin in ancient Bharat. Few examples: the so-called famous Damascus wood steel swords. Like they're famous in Europe. Without the Damascus wood steel swords, European never used to fight a war. And again, the bronze bells. Bronze was a special configured cocktail of the metallurgy, which Indians knew for thousands of years. So the bells have been exported across the globe, zinc extraction, tin, and so on and so forth. Thousands of years before, Bharata had thriving universities like Nalanda, Takshashila, and many across Akhanda Bharat. These universities flourished for thousands of years with vast number of diversified domain subjects. Before the evil invaders came, stole, and destroyed the wealth of our knowledge system. Later on, even more evil colonizers stole and closed down the universities and deliberately opened the Macaulay's education system, making Vaidika knowledge system disappear. Now time has come to work on this. Before starting, let's know what is there in brief in Vaidika Vijnanam and Ganitam. To talk about this, we have an young special guest speaker, Shri Manthan Himmatlal Bhatt, a teacher of physics, Bharatiya Vijnanam Ganitam at Agastha Gurukulam. Shri Manthan Himmatlal Bhatt was born and brought up in Mumbai, studied in Mumbai in his mother tongue, then went for science stream for 2 years post school study, and then opted for engineering at VJTI Mumbai. While studying engineering, also discovered love and curiosity for Sanskritam, hence started rigorous study of Sanskritam too. Also looking for Sanskrit in technical and scientific aspects is joyful experience. Sri Manthanji did his Panini Vyakarana Pravesha from Bharati Vidya Bhavan, teacher as Agastya Gurukul for Vignan and Ganitam, teaching physics to engineering and medical aspirants for many years. I'm also joined by VHS State President Karnataka, Sri Nikunshaji, Sri Tejas, Sri Sunil Kumarji. Without any further ado, now I request Sri Manthanji to enlighten us on Vaidika Vijnanam and Ganitam. Please, Manthanji, go ahead. Dhanyavad.
Okay, so thank you very much, Gopiji, because we used to say Nindantu Nitinipunaha Yadivastuvantu. So there's Ninda and Stuti, this goes on. So thanks a lot for this Stuti. So I'll have a Mangala, as we say, Mangala Adavu, Mangala Madhye, Mangala Anteti. Then we'll proceed with our actual topic. Vishvesham Satchidanandam Vandeham Yokhinam Jagat Charikarti Bari Bharti Sanjari Harti Leelaya. So, firstly, before starting or before entering into the actual topic, as it says Vaidika Vijnanam and Ganitam, I want to show this the etymology of the word, because the in the Vyakarana Shastra we say Vyutpatti. So that Vyutpatti, that means the etymology of the word, is very important to understand the meaning, the pragmatic meaning of the word or the semantic meaning of the word. So as we were also discussing on this, so we had a lot of discussion, and this is Vaidika, and how it comes. Let me show you. That is Vaidika and not Vedika. Let me first break that part. That is a Vruddhi Adesh. That is a grammatical aspect. There is a Vruddhi Adesh to Ve. That is A. It becomes Y. Hence, it is Vaidika and not Vedika. So, firstly, I want to precisely want you all to understand this. Then, Vaidika mere doesn't mean that from that era, that particular era. Of course, we'll consider that particular era into consideration. We'll take that into consideration, but it is just a mere knowledge, let it be of any time period. So, starting from the prehistoric era and subsequently going into the forward time, we look after how and what we had, what we have, and what we can or what we will have. So, this is Vidagnane, that is a verbal root, which means the knowledge related to the knowledge. So, Vaidika is something which is related to knowledge. The same goes for Vishesha Jnanam. Gnya Gnane ityasmat dhatoho Shati Janati iti Gnana. So that Gnya having the V upasarga becomes Vijnana. There's etymology that will be more of grammatical aspect, but I precisely want you all to know this. That what does it mean before entering into the topic. And next is Ganitam. So again the Gana Sankhnyane is a verbal root, and after having some suffixes we get to this Ganitam. So this becomes Vaidika Vijnanam and Ganitam. I am forcefully having the Vruddhi Shabda there, Vaidika Vijnanam and Ganitam. So let us look after the subtopics which we'll be covering today for our talk. So this is, we'll talk about few treatises on Vaidika Ganitam, followed by very interesting examples. Then after finishing Vaidika Ganitam, almost the first half, we'll have a transition to the second half, that will be the Vaidika Vijnanam. Then I'll share a few fascinating facts with authentic references. And this is the dynamic process. Fourth one, for curious readers, the list of many treatises for which Shastra, which particular part it is there. So precisely I have mentioned at particular point. So that is the dynamic point. Fifth one, again we'll discuss that we have it, but do we really have? And sixth one, as usual, we'll have question, because there is a samyakritya vada, samvada. It is not just vada. We say vade vade jayate tattvabodha. Tarhi atra tu samyakritya bhavishyati samvada. So without any ado, let's start. Let's enter into the topic. So from very prehistoric time, this Ganitam or the mathematical of, we say, the Vaidika Kala. So we have many things. Nowadays we think we have some geometrical circle, parabola, hyperbola. We have the quadratic equation, how to find the roots of quadratic equation. Then we go to the third power, then we go to the partial differential operator. We talk about calculus, and the modern science and modern mathematics we talk about a lot. Then do we have the differentiation? Do we have the integration? But all the time just the paribhashika shabda is different. The application, the output remains same. Okay, whether you are betting by right hand or left hand, if you are getting 4 runs, it's the same output which you are getting. So not saying that in before 1000 years, before 2000 years, before 3000 years we didn't have differentiation, integration, something like that. But if we are getting the output, then it's fine. I'll tell you how we get that output, and we can correlate how that is calculus or modern day partial differentiation or integration we do, and how in the time of Bhaskara, Aryabhatta, they did, which is very important to know. And then and only then we'll have dignity. So these are few names I have mentioned here. So Yajurveda Samhita, Shulba Sutra, that we'll discuss little. Baudhayana, then Katyayana Sutra, Shrauta Sutra. This also Chanda Shastra by Pingalacharya. This is also very interesting thing. Nowadays we have algorithms, so we'll discuss that part. Shulba Sutra and Chanda Shastra. So this is something starting from the Yajna, as we said, Gnya, Vijnanam, Vaidika. So that Gnya Gnane, so that is Yaj, verbal root. From that we have Yajna or Yajna. So for doing that yajna, we need the precise dimension, not more than that, not less than that. In epistemological terminology, in the Nyaya Vaisheshika Paribhasha or in the Nyaya Parampara, we have something called as Ativyapti and Avyapti. So they are dosha, they are Lakshana dosha. Ativyapti and Avyapti, they become Lakshana dosha. We need the dosha rahita Lakshana. So it is neither more nor less. It should be the accurate. Okay. So to have that accuracy, we need some instrument, and you can feel what can be that technical instrument. Oh, it will be very costly or something, but it is nothing like this rajju. It is just a simple rajju, that is rope with which everything we used to do. And very finely in Shulba Sutra, very finely, there are 6 Kandika in Shulba Sutra, and very finely explained how to do all the fundamentals. So here I have mentioned the very first sutra of Shulba Sutra, from where the treatise starts. So Rajju Samasam Bhakshyamaha. This is from a Prathama Kandika. So if we have a circle or semicircle, if you know the Trijya, that is the Ardha Vyasa. So having the rope over there, the same particular area you want for a square. So what you do, you take the same rope, divide it into 1/4, and then have a square. So then that Yajna Kunda for a square you will have, and again some altar for circular shape you can have, again some part for semicircle we can have. So that this single rope is entire treatise of Shulba Sutra is primarily based on this Rajju, and more geometrical aspects are also covered. So here, as you can see, yes, so Ashwamedhe ch dvau anyau dviguna triguna sangyau vakshamanau. So for different yajna, we need different parameter. So all the time we don't have some external machine and all, and we are running out of time. So what we'll do, we'll take this rajju, we'll take this rope, and with using that rope, we'll keep on measuring, and according to which yajna it is and what is the requirement, we'll keep on doing the things, and everything is mentioned finally over here. So if you see Ityade Kasha Sardha Sapta Purushatmaka Agnim Uktva, then it goes to Dvitiya, then it goes to Tritiya, and the process is mentioned. That will be the detailed understanding. But this is what the very scientific in its true sense. It is not just a yajna, but the geometrical aspect which we need to consider. Then if we go next slide. Okay, so this is something which is very interesting. So Maharshi Panini, who composed the Ashtadhyayi, like it's more than 2000 years we are having this Ashtadhyayi. Nowadays lot of things are happening on this Panini treatise Ashtadhyayi. So consider that Ashtadhyayi, and here I am showing the 3x3 matrix. So this C1, C2, C3 represents column 1, column 2 and column 3 respectively. And R1, R2, R3 here represents the row 1, then row number 2 and row number 3. And here we are having some terminological, these are the pratyaya, the thing pratyaya, prasmepadi pratyaya, but consider it as individual entity. So we are having 9 entity. You give this 9 entity to computer, then computer will decode it, and consider this thus. You can see this thus. So this thus is present at R1 C2, the intersection of R1 and C2. So if you give the input to the computer that R1 C2 under this condition, under the prasmaipada, under the sarvadhatuka ityadi, it has to be substituted by tam. under the lot lakara ityadi, in some particular condition, that R1C2 in technical term has to be substituted by tam. Then R2C2 has to be substituted by tam. Then R2C3 has to be substituted by ta. And lastly R3C2. I'll show that again. R3C2 has to be substituted by not R3C2, R3C1. Here MIP has to be substituted by am. So this is the aphorism tasthasthamipan tantantama from third adhyaya chaturtha pada and 101st sutra. So this is nothing but the meta-linguistic encoding and decoding. Nowadays we are having Java, Python, C++, and JavaScript, and many different things, Linux and different things evolving. But if someone devoting few years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years for this Astadhyay, myself doing the same thing from since past 5-7 years, you will get the true intellectual bliss that how thousands of years back Panini encoded these things and how we decode it. Without any translation, you can decode this. So followed, I am not showing everything, but we have these aphorisms. Parasmay padanam nalatusu sthalatu sanalvamaha. As I said, this is 3x3 matrix. In mathematics, modern mathematics, we have concept as matrix. So if you put this, consider this as 3x3 matrix. So these are only 4 substitutions for tasthas tamipan tantantam. If you consider parasmay padanam nalatusu sthalatu sanalvamaha, there will be all the 9 entities are substituted by some individual entities. Nal, atus, mus, thal, atus, a, nal, wa, ma. That will be the substitution. So you give input to computer will do the output. So that is very logical. And this is a aphorism for there are prakarana like tiganta and subanta. So and many things to discuss, but we are running out of time. We only have 40-50 minutes. But yes, I wish to explore more and more, and we can dig deep into it when we get time after this. But yes, right now let's just finish. Prakrutam anusaramaha. Our Acharya used to say this while teaching. He also goes in very deep, take us to the deep samudra, and then he says, let's go to the surface again. Prakrutam anusaramaha. So asmakam prakruta vishaya is Vaidika Vijnanam Ganitam. So let's follow that. So this is, as I mentioned, the Chandas Shastra in that slide. So this is Chanda Shastra by Pingalacharya. We can consider this as algorithms for a prosody. And there is very important concept of Laghu and Guru. Just now I mentioned about the computational aspect, meta-linguistic encoding, decoding in Astadhyay. There are 3 aphorisms. In total, there are 4,000 aphorisms, approximately about 4,000 aphorisms. And we have 3 aphorisms which are Raswam Laghu, Sanyoge Guru, Dirgaincha. And this group of 3 aphorisms, they define what is Laghu Sanyaka, what is Guru Sanyaka. And having that definition, we can compose millions of shlokas. We have infinite shlokas. And the best part is, they all are in some or the other particular chanda. This is the best part. This can never be found in any part of the universe. I am dare to say this. I dare to say this. This Chanda Shastra, like for example, let me give you, as I mentioned, Upendra Vajra and Indra Vajra over here. We have something called as, let's say, Vedasara Shivastava. So it is, the first line is Pashunam Patim Papanasham Paresham Gajendrasya Vrittim Vasanam Varenyam. So without meaning, let's say the pragmatic meaning, one can break it into 3. So it is Pashunam Patim Papanasham Paresham Gajendra Sya Vrittim Vasanam Varenyam. So Gajendra Sya Vrittim. Here the words are breaking, but still it is fine because it is fitting in the algorithm. Actually, it is Gajendrasya. Gajendrasya. It is 4 syllables are there in one word, but we have to follow that prosody. We have to follow that meter. So if you break it, for Bhujanga Prayata, it will be Gajendra Sya Vrittim Vasanam Varenyam. And having the few things here and there, it will give you new words, giving the new meaning. So the replica of the verse, replica of the shlok can be done very easily. In case you are master, you can create new verses. But yes, if we can have the replica also. So this is one of the great thing. And here comes the concept of permutations and combinations. Leelavati also, Bhaskaracharya mentions about this many permutations, how many shlok we can have. Okay, so here please make note of this Upendra Vajra and Indra Vajra, because after a few minutes this will come into the picture. Why I have colored this 0110 and here 0010. So that is the brilliance of Bhaskaracharya. I will discuss that. Let's move to the next slide. So these are again few names. As I said, for curious learners, we have many treatises and many things. So as I mentioned, this Arya Bhattiyam by Arya Bhatta. So I will give I'll take one example from this Arya Bhattiyam to find the value of pi. Chaturratika Shatam Dvashtistatha. Then for Varaha Mihira we have Guruk Samhita. From Brahma Sutta Siddhanta also I took one example for a Prakshepa Karana. We'll look after it. Then for Sridharacharya we have Party Ganitam. We'll take one example from this treatise also. Then this is how we kept on evolving from the very starting period of Yajurveda Samhita, Shulka Sutra, with Vaidika Kala, and Laukika, Samanya Kala, and the present day, and it's going on, it's going on. Many things are going on, like Evam Parampara Praptam, Tattu Asmakam Akhanda Paraparaha, Etasyaha Paramparaha Pradvamsaha Khandaha Nabhavishyati. So these are a few names I have discussed. And this is Swami Bharati Krishna Tirtha. We'll have some discussion on that. Okay, fine. So going to the next part, these are 6 examples I have taken. We have many treatises, but we'll for a time being, we'll look after this 6 things. So algebraic proportionality in Bijaganitam, we call it as a Trairashika. So what is the Utpatti of Bijaganitam? So we say Avyaktatvat idam bijam ityuktam shastra kartuvi. We have some Avyakta and we have the urge of finding that Avyakta. Let's say we have 3 parameters we know and 4th one we don't know. So that 4th one which we don't know, that is Avyakta. So Avyaktatvat idam bijam ityuktam shastra kartuvi. They say that is the cause for Bijaganitam, entire Bijaganitam. For example, rather than giving example of this right now, I'll share the slide and then I'll explain. It will be fine. Then permutation, combination, factorial concept, followed by partnership, sum of n natural number. We know the formula in our engineering time. Before the entrance exam, we used to just memorize that formula: n multiplied by n plus 1 divided by 2, sum of n natural numbers. But I was just mesmerized, and as I mentioned, I'll say I had intellectual bliss when I looked after the shloka, the way it is being encoded by Bhaskaracharya in particular chanda, and the way we decode it and come after the same conclusion, which still my later graduation period I was not exposed to, and hence I got mere intellectual bliss. I wish you all get the same thing. I'll try to give you. So then we have the value of pi, few examples of value of pi. Pi is very famous irrational number, we all know. And the algorithm behind prosody we discussed. So this is what it is. So when we say Vaidika Ganita, Vaidika Vijnanam, is not only about the yajna or the puja or Shri Vishnave Namaha, Haraya Namaha, Ganapataya Namaha. It is not just about only, yes, it is the one of the part of culture that has to be followed without any doubt. But the scientific and mathematical aspect should not be ignored at any cost. Because if we ignore, then it's like we are hammering on our own head. So firstly, we should know how to hold that hammer and where to hit it. So if we are having that scientific aspect, if we are having that mathematical aspect, we should hammer there and we should explore it out so that many can have those intellectual things. So this example from Patiganitam is just basic algebraic operation, as I mentioned. It is about the Trairashika. 3 parameter we know and we need to find the 4th one. So 4th is unknown, that is for Bijaganita, that is Avyakta. So I'll just quickly read it. The full screen. Yes, now it's visible. So Nagendro Dina, then Panchama Anusha is 1/5. Panchama Anusha is 1/5. Nagendro Dina Panchama Anusha Namamatryamsha Hiswapada Anvitai Shadviryati Sapada Yojana Dalam Tramsho Namarthanvitam Pratyayati. It is written प्रत्यायाति च योजनं द्विगुणितं स्वत्र्यंशहीनं सखे सार्धाहेन च तत्र योजनशतं कालेन कैनैष्यति. So let's say we have some festival for Bharata, and we have the Nagendra. So here comes the multidisciplinary knowledge at a single instant. When we see Nagendra, so this Naga is from our childhood we exposed to snake. Naga is snake, and Bahunam Naganam Shrishtaha Nagendraha. But here, in this example, the Sridharacharya, that party Ganitam in this treatise, Nagendra is for used for elephant. So how it is, how that Ganitam then connected to Amarakosha instantly, let me show you. How that Nagendra, how that Naga is okay, how that Naga is elephant. So Danti Dantavalo Hasti Virato Nekapodvipaha Matangajo Gajo Nagaha Kunjaro Varanakari. So here we have Nagaha as elephant. And here in question it is Nagendra, means it is the question about elephant moving forward by some particular yojana, coming backward by some particular yojana, taking rest. Next day doing the same thing, moving forward, coming back, taking rest, and repeating until and unless that Gajendra, this Nagendra, reaches its destination. So question is Yojana Shatam Kalena Kena Aishati Kena Aishati Kalena Kena Aishati, in how much, in what period this Gajendra, by doing this particular thing, will reach the destination or will cover the distance of Yojana Shatam. So I have given the solution in slides. We will not discuss much because then we'll running out of time and we'll lose many things. But yes, later we may learn this individually also. I wish I show my wish to do so. So let's proceed. So this is Gamanam. So when I was saying Panchangshaha, Navangshaha, Triangshaha, Sardhanvitaihi, Sapad Sardhanvitaihi. So that is addition. So we just decode it and follow the same mathematical process, and it's fun, because you remember. It's like you are singing in that particular chanda. You are just doing it. You are solving it. You are getting mastered in algebra. You are getting mastered in Bijaganitam. At the same time, you are remembering words. At the same time, you are connecting the things to different treatises, like this Patiganitam to Amar Kosha. And you can also have your own verses where you can create some question, you can generate some question and keep on solving. So nowadays in this even in our engineering period, in different semesters, they say we have this particular quantity, physical quantity. If it is doubled, then what will happen? Like for example, the satellite is revolving around the earth, so time period t square is proportional to r cube. So what if the distance between the satellite and Earth becomes double? What will be the time period? What is the effect on time period? Like. So we get to find the time period, but it is just about satellite and Prithvi. But here it is just about enjoying the algebraic operation. Okay, so this is the solution I have given. You can refer it later. So in 1/18th of a day, if it covers the 5/8 ashtangsha, pancha ashtangsha yojanam, then in one day, ka is the variable. Nowadays we used to have XYZ. Well, why we should use XYZ ABC? It's not like rigidity that we should use XYZ ABC or something. You use ka, kha, ga, ga, you have any denotation. We have alpha, beta, gamma, delta, theta nowadays. You have ka, kha, ga, ga. You have yarala, sha, sha, sa, kimapi, yad kimapi, kartum shakyate. And we are getting the answer, we are getting the output. So output we are getting, but the process is joyful, process is blissful and not rigid like we are having right now. So this is what I want to explore through this. So this k is unknown, we can find this value of k. Okay, so I am just sharing the slides, not going much into the solution. You will get it once you have a look at it, because we have many more fantastic examples followed by. So the pratyagamanam is pratyagamanam when the elephant is returning from actual journey. We will solve that. And in this much day, this much yojanam. So in one day, how much yojanam? There we used ka. So here ka. So for going it is ka, for returning it is ka. So let's say you go by 100 meter, you come back by 70 meters. So net distance or net displacement is 30 meter. 100 minus 70. In the same manner, we'll do ka minus ka. We'll get the net distance covered by elephant or nagendra in ekasmin dine. And then we'll find the time for a shata yojana. So this is what we did. Ga is something ka minus ka. Simple as that. We'll get some magnitude. So in ekadinam, this is the net yojanam. 746 divided by 72. This much yojanam is the net displacement by the nagendra in the forward direction. So to have 100 yojana, how much time that nagendra will take? So let us say it is ga. That is avyakta, that is variable, that is the value which we need to find. And then after cross multiplying, the trairashika vakra gunanam we say. Generally we say cross multiply. So tatra vakra gunanam iti vadamah. So by vakra gunanam anena iti labhyate. So this is very fantastic problem we saw from Party Ganitam, which is thousands of years back we had. Okay, fine. So then the concept of permutations and factorial. So why the Bharatiya parampara is different from all the other parampara? Because we always stick to our roots. Tatra, for example, कृतज्ञता व्यक्तिकरणम अपेक्षितम यत् तत् क्रियते अस्माभिः सर्वदा. सो ईश्वराय कृतज्ञता व्यक्तिकरणम तो गणितशास्त्रेपि ईश्वरः आगमिष्यति आगच्छति वा भवति. So see, this is the Shiva and this is the Vishnu. Now one may ask, and one should ask, that why we are having Shiva and Vishnu? You are teaching Ganita. You are talking about Ganita. So why you are having Shiva and Vishnu? But this is what our cultural heritage is like. We are having the great Ganitam along with the devotion for considering why this intellectual topic we are discussing, but why we are having existence, and that Ishwaravadi Tattva is in the roots of a Bharatiya Parampara. So this is the question. Pasham Kushahit Amaruta Kapala Shulaihi Katwanga Shakti Sharachapa Yuter Bhavanti Anyonya Hastakalitahi Kati Murti Bheda. Such a beautiful question the Bhaskaracharya is asking. This is the 263rd shloka from Lilavati. Kati Murti Bheda. How many Murti Bheda you will have if you just reshuffle the things? And these are the names for Pasha, Ankusha, Ahidamru, Ityadi, which Shiva is holding in his hand. I have listed here. Pasha, Ankusha, Ahidamru, Kapala, Shula, Khatwanga, Shakti, Sharau, and Apayuta. If you just reshuffle, like in the first hand we have Pasha, in the second hand we have Ankusha, you just reshuffle. And by doing such reshuffling, how many Kati Murti Bheda, in third line at last, Kati Murti Bheda. So this is the concept of permutation, which gives us the concept of factorial also. So for a Shiva, holding this 10 different things, Pasha, Ankusha, Hidamaru, as mentioned in Shloka. If you do 10 factorial, so factorial is something you start from the number and end at 1, multiplying, keep on multiplying. This is Ankapasha Vyavaharha Ityuktam. Tatra Gunanam Apekshitam. So if we multiply everything, we'll get this much. Okay, sorry. So 36,28,800 Katimurti Bhedaha. One can have 36,28,800 deities of the Shiva. So let's say we have some particular group and everyone wants to have different deity of Shiva. Let's say my deity should be different than yours, but holding all these things. So this can be done. Rearrangement, reshuffle. Same for the Vishnu. Gada, Hari, Shankha, Padma, like that. So Gada, Hari, Saroja. So if we have 4 things, the 4 factorial gives us 24. So for 24, Kati Murti Bhedaha. So this is the answer to the question. So the algebraic operation, the concept of permutation, the concept of factorial, everything is there. Starting from the Vaidika Kala, then subsequent following, and till today we are having. As I mentioned in 5th topic, we have it, but do we really have it? That's the question. If I am having intellectual beliefs, few stalwarts and few very scholastic person are having intellectual bliss, but they are on the path of giving those intellectual bliss to others. They are moving from dusk to dawn to the each and every individual to make an awareness. This is what we have. Can they roar like lion? This is what we have. You shift this, and then definitely they'll come. If some constructive fruitful is we are having, then definitely will come. So this is what I had. So one more example on Brahma Sutta Siddhanta. So I broke that particular rigidity that doing for the yajna and puja ityadi nitya karma, that is the part of the dainika kriya. But beyond that, we have lot of mathematical and scientific aspect. We saw two examples. Now also we have Prakshepakaranam in Brahma Sutta Siddhanta by Brahmagupta. We have different chapters. So there's Ganita Adhyaya, and there we have Prakshepakaranam as one topic. So there the Brahmagupta is talking about how much profit one particular person will have, because see, such a great in Srimad Bhagavad Gita also Yogeshwara Krishna says the Chatur Varnam Maya Sushtam. So that Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, that great Varna Vyavastha. I'm not saying Jati Vyavastha, which is going on right now. Please make note of this. That Varna Vyavastha, the great Varna Vyavastha, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So if the Vanij is doing some business, then what can be the profit or how the profit can be increased? So in Brahma Sutta Siddhanta, there is one example I took. This one question. Ekadyernava paryantai vanijai moolarashibihi. There are few investors. This is the actual example from Brahma Sutta Siddhanta I am showing. Ekadyehi. Starting from one, there are 9 such business persons and they are investing something. They kritaha hayaha. Kritaha hayaha asau vikritaha. They took one horse and they sold. They bought it and then they sold. So kritaha hayaha asau vikritaha. Panchonaihi panchabhishyate. So this terminology may be it will take some time to explain, hence I'm not explaining everything. As I already said, we are running out of time and we have many things, but later as individual course or as individual treatise learning will may do it. Kim ekaikasya tatrasit bruhi tvam mishrakan. So the question is bruhi tvam mishrakan mama. There are 9 business persons. They bought one horse and they sold it. So what will be the actual output? What is the profit? So here I also mentioned the haya means ashwa, because here hayaha asau kritaha hayaha asau vikritaha. Fine. So then we solve it and we get it. What is the actual profit to each and every business person? So it is not always about the japa, mantra, puja, part and all. It is the integral part of parampara, integral part which cannot be taken out, yes, but it is beyond that. And if the youngster like me, just at the age of 25, 26, by Sudaiva, by Ishvara, blessed, I got this much exposure. But if we give this exposure to each and every youth, they will also get fascinated by such things, because the more teaching they are, why they are having fascination, they learn new things in a different manner. So this is also we are having, it's our own. So we firstly should create dignity, and creating dignity is not necessary. Only creating dignity is not sufficient. We need to show such things to them, and we need to teach. So first we need to learn and then to teach. That's the thing. So again, so I'll increase my speed because I think we'll head towards the end of the session. But yes, we'll definitely discuss much more examples and many things in later session in case we have. So this is the sum of n natural number. In last line you can see n multiplied by n plus 1 divided by 2. So this is again the shloka from Lilavati composed by Shri Bhaskacharya. Saika padagna padardham athaikadyanka yuti kila sankalidakya. So let us consider the pada being ka, and saika pada will be ka plus 1. Ghna means to multiply. So there are multiplication of 2 terms. Saika pada ghna padardham. Padasyardham nama padardham. So it is ka by 2. That is getting multiplied with saika pada. So this is n plus 1 and this is n by 2. N plus 1 multiplied by n by 2, that is nothing but the sum of n natural numbers. So we say the sum of n natural numbers. In modern mathematics we have the sum of n natural numbers, the series, the Shredhi Vyavaharaha. The arithmetic progression, geometric progression, harmonic progression, everything we have. The authentic sources with shloka kramanka, with treatise kramanka, I can give you if you want, and I can teach you. So everything we have. So what happened? They just had a different terminology and project in front of us. So we are like having eyes, but they gave us some different kind of chashma, we say. Hence that color is different, like the color blind person. But if you remove that chashma, that's the actual thing which we are having of our own, to have dignity of, to have pride of. So this is nothing but the sum of n natural numbers. Saika padatana padartham. It is known as the Sankalita. Okay, here we go. The value of pi. For the contribution of pi, we have lot of verses. So this is from Aryabhatyam by Sri Aryabhatta. Chaturadhika shatam ashtagunam dvashashtis tatha sahasranam. Ayuta is 10,000. Now we feel like up to what power we had the Sankhya. So up to 10 to the, even more than 10 to the power 17, 18, 20, we are having the Sankhya, and we have given some terminology to that Sankhya. Like different treatises may vary here and there, but it is like ekadasha shata sahasrayuta laksha prayuta kotayah kramashah arbudam abjam kharvani kharva mahapadma shankavastasmat jaladishchantyam madhyam parardam dashgunatrah sangnyaha sankhya sthananam vyavaharartham kruta purvaihi. We just increase the decimal system till parardha we have 10 to the power 16, 10 to the power 17, and you just keep on having the 10 powers and giving the new paribhasha. So that much distance or that much macroscopic aspect we went into. At the same time, after having the transition to Vignan, at the same microscopic aspect we have went into, like milli, micro, then nano, then pico, and so much. So both the macroscopic aspect and the microscopic aspect is being covered by us. So firstly we should know, and then we must, instead of using should, I will say we must know, and then we must pass to, we just should do this. Krishna Arpanamastu, take this, and then evam parampara praptam, this parampara will be on. But firstly we must know that is what it is, because we are having the same kind of thing, and many more than whatever the modern mathematics or Vignan is giving us. Because I felt the same in undergraduation program, and now I am getting exposure of such brilliant things and having the intellectual peace. So I decide to, and I wish to give the, considering myself as a nimitta, as the Yogeshwar Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. So even though I am not Samya Sachin, I am not very well versed in the Tanusha, Tanurveda ityadi, but yes, I can be the nimitta for this particular deed. Okay, this is also the same kind of thing to find the value of pi. Here the concept of Bhuta Sankhya also comes. So I'll not explain it into detail, but as you can see here, the orange color Vanandagni is nothing but 3927, 3927. How it comes, I'll show you in later slides. Then Khavana Surya, that is 1250, 1250. We just divide 3927. If you are having calculator right now, if you are having mobile right now, while having this live video, we just divide 3927 by 1250. Instantly you will get this 3.1416, and we will show, oh, this is the value of pi. This is given in the more than, like, we are in 21st century, so in 12th century, more than it, after few years it will be thousands of years before we are having this, and before that also we are having such many things. We just have to devote ourselves. I won't say you just have to spend some time. Many people and millions of people are spending time. You have to devote some time, and you have to extract such things. By extracting such fruitful things, you can just give it to the next generation. And even firstly, I will extract as much as possible, and I will give to the school kids, and then they will proceed further. Okay, so this is how the process of Vanandagni we get 3927. I won't go into much detail, but as you can see, the arrow Vamataha means the leftwards. So Ankanam Vamataha Gati. So what is what is Nanda, what is Agni? These are all the concepts of Bhuta Sankhya. So that will take some time. Later we'll discuss sometime. Just we divide Vanandagni and Khabana Surya to get this. And there's 22 divided by 7. Dvavimshatigne Vihruteka Shailaihi Sthulothva Syad Vyavahara Yogyaha. This is the approximate value. The Granthakar says, see the last line, Sthulotha Asyad Vyavahara Yogyah. That was the fine actual value, dividing Kha Panandagni and Kha Banasuya. Dvavimshati Vihrutetha Shailehi. Here, see, Dvavimshati is 22, Vihruta Shaila is Parvata, that is 7 for Bhuta Sankhya. Dvavimshati Vihrutetha Shailehi, Thulotha Vasyad Vyavahara Yogyah. While solving for approximation, you take this. So both the actual value and the different values we have, different types. Okay, here I'll take few minutes, like at least 2-3 minutes, because I personally found such a brilliancy which cannot be easily found in modern aspect. Yes, it is also, we need to, we have to take it into consideration. It's not like we just have to neglect it, but this is more like to have pride of. So see, this is 199th verse and this is 203rd verse. This comes under the like same chapter of Vartulam, Vrutta Kshetra, giving the surface area of circle, then projecting by integrating, in my own words, I'll say by integrating, getting the surface area of sphere and then getting the volume of sphere. In actual case, it is the integration for me. I'll explain how later. So this Bhanandagni and Bhanavagni. So brilliance of Bhaskaracharya, that Bhanandagni is 3927, 3927. Now if in this shloka, if Bhaskaracharya is saying Vyase Bhanandagni Hate Vibhakte, to convey this 3927, 3927, Sri Bhaskaracharya is using Bhanandagni in 199th verse, then just after 4 verse, why he is using Bhanavagni? Because Bhanandagni is 3927, Bhanavagni is also 3927, but why he is using different word? Why is he changing it? Why is not sticking to the same word Bhanandagni used by him? Because there comes the concept of prosody, the algorithms for chanda. If we use Bhanandagni in 203rd verse, 203, in verse number 203, there will be chanda bhanga, because it is not fitting into the algorithm. Like see, here the Upendra Vajra, those who have no exposure of chanda, you consider it as a binary system, as the computer works. Myself and many big stalwarts also used to say, or used to have, that Guru as 1 and Lagu as 0 for the sake of convenience. Actually it is Lagu and Guru only, but Guru Sanyaka Varna you consider it as 1 and Lagu Sanyaka Varna you consider it as 0 for binary system. So this is the binary arrangement for Upendra Vajra Chanda. And this is the binary arrangement for Indra Vajra Chanda. So in slok number 203, if Bhaskaracharya uses Bhanandagni, then this algorithm will break. Hence it won't be in Indra Vajra Chanda, but he wants this to be in Indra Vajra Chanda. Hence instead of using Bhanandagni, he used Bhanavagni. Because Bhanandagni, so the third syllable, Bhananda, that is the Sanyoga in Bhananda, which makes the Na Guru Sanyaka. In its true sense, this Bhananda, this Na is Lagu Sanyaka. In its true sense, Bhanandagni, Bhananda. So this Na is Raswa, hence it is Lagu Sanyaka. But the Sanyoga just after it makes it Guru Sanyaka, which fits in Upendra Vajra finally. But later, if he goes for Bhanandagni there, so this 0 won't be there. Because of the Bhananda, the Sanyoga just after Na will make it 1. But we need 0, as you can see here in orange color in the second box. So to make the algorithm fine, not to have Chanda Bhanga and convey the same thing. So it's 1 to many and many to 1 convention. By one particular thing, you can have many different aspects. And by different aspects, you can have the same thing. So this is what the Bhanandagni and Bhanavagni is talking about. Fine, this is I personally wanted to take time on. Now let's proceed with let's have the transition to our next part, that is fundamentals of Vaidika Vijnanam. So there is Karya Karana Bhava which we must take into consideration. In the Vaisheshika Darshana also, Kanada, Maharshi Kanada, Vaisheshika Darshanakara says Karana Abhavat Karya Bhava. Karyasya Abhava Bhavati. Karana Abhavat. if you are not having an absence, if you are not having karana, there won't be any cause. For any cause, for any cause, if you are having, you can have some effect. But if you are having any effect, you must and must have some cause. Without cause, there won't be any effect. So, like, these are the fundamental examples. If I am having this device and if I just leave it, it will fall down. So there is some cause. Like falling down is an effect, but there is some cause. What cause? Then we need to think about. That is a vishesha jnana. Samanya jnanam patanam. That is downfall. Kimartam bhavati. That we need to do the chintanam. Hence, it is vishesha jnana. So you take the elimination of bulb, the vidyut pravaha, electricity, flying aircraft, following the Bernoulli principle, air molecules, and many, many, many different things. But what is the cause of universe that the modern scientists are thinking since past 200, 150, 200, 250 years? But since more than thousands of years in Veda, in Upanishad, as I discussed Parartha in mathematics, we were going macroscopic. At the same instant, we went microscopic. So let me share this. So this we nowadays it is very famous. Anyone who says Big Bang consider to be very considered to be very well versed in the field of science or in the field of modern physics. But there are many, many, many different things. The paribhasha may change, the terminological word may change, but the output can be same. So as I have written, the modern world scientists they are trying, but still not with the 100% confirmation or precision. But our Maharshi, our Veda Drishta, they had the great confirmation. They gave us things in very simple manner. So this Veda is having the Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. So the Antima Bhaga, Vedanta, that is Upanishad. So I will take some examples in the Shvetashvara Upanishad. This I will not take entire verse and meaning and all. You can refer it later, and in case we have any question, in case we have any discussion, we'll take it for a later part. But just to finish this session very finely, I'll take little pace right now, and then we'll go for question answer session, which is very important. So Anoho Aniyan Mahatah Mahiyan. So it is smaller than smallest and bigger than biggest. If you say an atom, let's say sodium, we used to eat sodium chloride every day. So you take a sodium atom. If you have atom, you have nucleus, you have proton, neutron, you have electron orbiting around. If you say some atom is the smallest part, but nowadays they are finding small part. They will penetrate to find the smallest thing. But Upanishad is saying, Anoho Vaniyan, smaller than smallest. You find the smallest part which exists in universe. It is smaller than smallest. So how you will find it? And you find the biggest part. Mahatah Mahiyan. So it gives the macroscopic and the microscopic insight at the same instant. Even though we have materialistic growth by learning those scriptures from the aspect of science and mathematics, still we are not deviating from our actual path. That is what the multidisciplinary was they had. This is very interesting, but yes, we don't have time. But I will discuss this sometime later in very detail, very depth. In Ishavasya Upanishad, we have very like around 20 shloka, but this Tade Jati, Tannai Jati, Tadure, Tadvantike, Tadantrasya Sarvasya Tadu Sarvasyasya Bhagyatah. For very fundamental, it is like it is contradictory. Even at very first insight, for me, it was contradictory. Tat ejati tatana ejati. Eja is the verbal root. Eja company. So ejati ejataha ejanti. It is moving. Tat means it. Ejati. Tat ejati. Then there is a sandhi. Galam yashonte tad ejati. So if it is moving, how you say it is not moving? If it is far, how you say it is near? So now let me throw light on what nowadays, since past 150 200 years, in Newtonian mechanics we have concept of a frame of reference. It can be inertial frame of reference, non-inertial frame of reference. So if two cars at the speed of 60 km/h moving parallel to each other, here we have Devadatta, here we have Chaitradatta. Devadatta will feel Chaitradatta is not moving. Chaitradatta will feel Devadatta is not moving. But someone, Maitradatta, is standing on the road when observing Devadatta and Chaitra Datta's car, he will feel that both Devadatta and Chaitra Datta are moving at the speed of 60 km per hour. And he can say Tade, or some Devadatta can say Tade Jati, Tadnai Jati. Actually, the context of Upanishad is different, and whatever I am saying is different. So, let me tell you all the Shrotru Gana, Shrotrubhyo, Sarvebhyo, Shrotrubhyo, Namo Namaha. So, to all the listeners, so let me clear this, that even I am aware of in what context the Upanishad is talking about and what example I gave. But it's fine. It can be analogically uh, extracted. We can extract such meanings. I saw a few things in comment section, but I will discuss that in last 10-15 minutes. Let me just finish, please. Kindly uh, excuse for a while. So again, Shrotubhya Namaha. But yes, we'll discuss later. So here comes the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Being a physicist, I am also having study of this kind. So Mr. Werner Heisenberg, a German physicist, got Nobel Prize in 1931 for this Heisenberg uncertainty principle in 1931 procedure. So this is very, if you substitute, but this is something beyond the understanding of layman, the common man. But those who are interested, it gives you the true insight, the true intellectual piece, as I am repeatedly saying. This is delta x multiplied by delta b greater than h by 4 pi. Here it is not slash, it has to be divided by h by 4 pi. That h is Planck's constant, delta x delta b. If we put some particular thing, we'll have this output. Tade jati, tanne jati, which more than thousands of years, the way the Drishtaraha, Upanishadaha, Drishtaraha gave us the things. We are not having, or we are not devoting time for this. Otherwise, we'll have a lot of things together. And this is known as Sarva Vyapaka. If it is Sarva Vyapaka, it is moving, it is not moving from different frame of reference. It is near, it is far from different frame of references. As this makes sense. Tade jati, tanne jati. Tadure, tadvarti. At the same instant. Very fine slope. One of the favorite slope of mine in Upanishad. Okay, let's go to the next one. In the Taittiriya Upanishad also, they talk about the Ishvaraha or Brahmadattva. That is, they are giving the different terminology, the modern physicists, scientists, but considering the technical and the scientific and the mathematical aspect of life, that is Abhyudaya. Upanishad is asking us to have the microscopic Nihishrayasa path also. Here, I just have this sloka, will not go into the detailed meaning and its anvaya and all. So, Taittiriya Upanishad, Tad Brahmeti, Yato Vaimani Bhutani Janati, the cause and effect. Because I stated this now, it is all about this cause and effect. Please make sure you understand. This is cause and that is effect. So for some particular effect, we are having cause. Okay. In also Brahma Sutra, as we have Shad Darshana, and also we have Shadanga. I am mentioning here. So we have Shadanga, Chanda Kalpa Jyotish Nirukta Shiksha Vyaparanam. And we have Shad Darshana, Vaisheshika Darshana, Nyaya Darshana, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa, Yoga Darshana, Brahma Sutra. The Uttara Mimamsa is a Brahma Sutra. We also have the Sankhya Darshana. So this is Shadanga and Shad Darshana here. This comes under the Brahma Sutra or Uttara Mimamsa, composed by Veda Vyasa. And this is the Brahma Sutra Bhashya written on that treatise, composed by Veda Vyasa. The very first aphorism or very first sutra, Athato Brahma Jinyasa. Then comes Janmadyasya Yataha. That is the answer of the Jinyasa or the question. Then Shastra Yonitvat Tattva Samaya. So what best thing we have is our parampara is we follow the Shabda Pramana also. Apta Vakya Apta Shabda is Pramanam for us. So we follow the Shabda Pramana. And modern physicists, modern scientists, they are not taking this Ishwaravadi point of view. And hence they are stuck some or the other point. But we can have the fulfillment of what has to be penetrated. So these are the four things: the epistemological or ontological approach, as I said, the Nyaya Vaisheshika Parampara, Darshana Shastra, the theology or the logic, Tarka. So there they say Yathartha Anubhavaha Chaturvidaha. There are four types. This is Pratyaksha, Anumiti, Upamiti, and Shabda Bheda. So we follow the Shabda Pramana, whatever is in Veda, whatever is told by our Acharya, Guru, Ityadi. We have that Shabda Pramana, we keep that in mind. But this modern aspect is not allowing us to accept the Shabda Pramana. They are having something, they are churning something in our intellect so that we cannot have that Shabda Pramana, which is a big loss, which is the disaster. Because if you are not entering, how you will penetrate the things? To penetrate, to dig deep, you need to enter first. So hence here I'm written the concept of Shabda Pramana, Shastra Unit. But not only Shabda Pramana, he is giving Tat Nirnayaya Dvitiya Trutiyau Padau Arabhyate. Tat Nirnayaya. Let us conclude it. Let us have the inference, let us have the analytical approach, the scientific approach. Okay, hence I marked here, underlined it. Tat Nirnayaya Dvitiya Trutiyau Padau Arabhyate. Okay, so this way we can check that what we have and what right now it's going on. So we have the Ishwaravadi Tattvagana on the left side, that is Vaidika Vijnanam, the acceptance that Ishvara does exist. Why so? Because from the microscopic to macroscopic, anything which happens, it needs, for if it is an effect, needs a cause, some or the other cause. So we say Ishvara is a cause. But the modern projection, they don't have something like this. Hence they are confused. They are just moving here and there. I'm not saying they are not achieving something, they are finding it, but we are sthira, like yoga chitta vritti nirodha. We are sthira, not deviating from the actual thing. Eke hatru nandana, like we are sthira. They are having bahu shakha hyanantascha buddhaya avyavasayina, moving here and there randomly. But why we are strict? Because we are following our own things. We are strict to it. Believe in Shabda Pramana, and they urge to have the perception of everything. If I say, show me oxygen, they cannot. Show me this molecule, they cannot. But they exist, they do exist. So everything you cannot have the pratyaksha of. Hence, pratyaksha, anumana, upamana, and shabda bhuta. We follow the shabda bhuta. Veda is saying that there is some cause called Ishvara. Maharshi is being saying, roaring like lion since thousands of years and saying that it is the cause. And if we are stick to it, then it is fine. Otherwise, we know what kind of disaster we are having, both the materialistic and intellectual disaster. So here in Vaisheshika Darshana itself, Yataha Abhyudaya and Nihishrayasa Siddhihi Sahata. So it is not just about the rituals and everything, which is the Nihishrayasa, the spiritual aspect. It is also the Abhyudaya, the materialistic approach should be there. There should be an enhancement from that aspect also, but together. Abhyudaya cha Nihishrayasa. Tasya Siddhi Dharma. And nowadays, for modern scientific approach, it is only materialistic approach. So one thing is missing there, so spiritual aspect, which is scientific in its own. Okay, so I think we are just a few slides away from ending this session. I hope you are enjoying. I took a lot of time of yours, but let us take it. I think it's at peak, so for a few slides, let's not decrease the intensity. So few fascinating facts. Let's just look after. Since in 19th century, early 18th century, they were finding the speed of light. Firstly, they were confused whether the light is a particle or wave. Some says it is particle, some says it is wave. In wave also they say it is longitudinal wave, transverse wave. But in Rigveda Bhashya of Sayanacharya, we have the speed of light. We have the speed of light. I am not forcefully imparting it. It is having. We are having it. This is what it is. To calculate later, you will get it. What I discovered is, in different reference, they take the value of nimisha differently and value of yojana differently. When you convert yojana into kilometer, there has to be little difference, or that I discovered. The little difference is usually there. For nimisha also, there is little difference, but you will get the value which is having the magnitude same as that of speed of light. Prakashasya gati yojananam sahasram dveshate dvecha yojane. That is 2202 yojana in ardha nimesha. Ekena nimesha ardhena kramamanamustute. This gives the speed of light. So I have mentioned, I am not solving it. Please do it later. You will definitely get it. Then we have Vaimanika Shastra, and this is just recent, few hundreds of years ago. We have someone called as Shivkar Bapuji Talpade, and I'm not trying to have any controversy. I'm just giving you the food for thought, and let us say some kind of little homework, so that you go into it. You have some curiosity, some jignasa. Jnatum ichha iti jignasa. So you have the pipasa, jignasa, bubuksha, to know it, the urge to know it, and then you research. Then the verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita by Robert Oppenheimer and then Vaidika Sutra. These are some interesting things. So Vaimanika Shastra, they used to say before Wright brothers, before 8 years, Shivkar Bapuji Talpade in the Mumbai Chopati, there was unmanned plane uh, using by mercury as fuel. Nowadays we are having different fuels having different density, different specific gravity, and giving some efficient output. Fine. This was the first attempt. But the question to all, do you know what is Vaimanika Shastra? How many different designs we have? What were the materials mentioned? What what location of yantra, where it is? What should be the characteristics of pilot? The thermodynamics aspect, because it is going, so the friction is going to be there. The blades may collapse. So this is everything. You just look after it. You just have it. Nowadays, what I discover, they just used to share here and there, but they don't have the actual knowledge. So if someone asks them, they fail to answer, and hence no one is having the faith. But if you dig deep, then you will able to penetrate the intellect of them. So this is the modern physicist was inspired by the Srimad Bhagavad Gita verse. There is full video. You can just search it. It's a small clip. You can take it later. Mr. Robert Oppenheimer is saying, "I am became death." So kalosmi lokakshaya pravruddho. So these scriptures, this Upanishad has inspired a lot of things. But why not? Why not us? If it is ours, then why we are not looking after it? Why we are not digging deeper into it? That is the question. And this is here. I'm not trying to have any controversy, but I'm giving you a little homework. I was just surfing, and for hours and hours, I looked into it from authentic sources. Many mathematicians, they say this is not taken from Atharva Veda, but very famous mathematician of modern time, just few hundred years back, Swami Bharati Krishna Tirtha, he composed one pustakam. He composed many things. These are the 16 sutra, and we also have 13 Upasutra. So this Ekadikena Purvena, Ekanyunena Purvena, Udvotijekna, very wonderful example to have the decoding of. So he says it is from Atharva Veda, but what I think, if it is from Atharva Veda, the Upaveda of Atharva Veda is Thapatya Veda. They are constructing things. Do you expect them to have calculator? Do you expect them to have spend a lot of time, non-constructive time, inefficient time, and not having the constructive output? So they are having mental calculations. So if it is mentioned in Atharva Veda, why we are hesitating in accepting it? So many mathematicians said that no, it is not taken from Atharva Veda, but gentle and humble, Ativa Viveka Namrataya Vadami, do we have the Aksharashaha Pathanam of Atharva Veda? If yes, then we can conclude. We can give our hypothesis, but then we can conclude that it is taken or not. Just having Anumana, we cannot conclude very finely in present time. So this is the homework for you, all viewers, and for myself also. Take Atharva Veda and try to have such things. These are aphorisms we may learn at some other instant, as I said. They are very beautiful sutra, and we have a Upa Sutra also. And it works very greatly, and there is no comparison to you take any peak treatise of modern mathematics or modern science. There is no comparison. Yes, the approach is different. So you need to have some exposure to Sanskrit and all, but if you are intensely and if you have a lot of rigor, you will penetrate all these things. Now we came to the actual part. Now you will feel, oh, it was very great thing. But this Thomas Beggington Macaulay, we all are aware of. Or if not, we must. So the backbone, which was the Shikshana Vyavastha, when the many invaders and they came, we had lot of destruction and pre-British rule, post-British rule, and why we why we are not having exposure of such things? Vyase banandagni hate vibhatte khavana surye vibhute ekashaidaihi ityadi ityadi shloka. वृत्तक्षेत्रे परिधिगुणितव्यासपादफलं सैकपदग्नपदानमथैकाद्यङ्गयुति किल सङ्कलिताख्या. They will memorize like a song. When I am memorizing, they will memorize like a song. And that memorizing the song or the chandas or that particular shloka is having some decode, that multilinguistic encoding decoding. Once they decode, they'll get mathematics, they'll get Vignan. But it was, as I said initially in the talk, it's like a chashma giving us the different color, different shade, and hence we are not having it. So we should firstly remove that, because no one is trying to remove that. From schools and colleges, and Western education is imparted forcefully since past many years, more than a century, and then we are following it. They say my kid is, saying I take a pride. I learned from my Matrubhasha, and then entered in college and followed the English tradition and all. But nowadays they say my son or my this particular kid is in English medium or in my international board, this particular board. Why you are taking pride in such things? If you are interdependent and you are having pride, so is it not a foolish thing? If you are saying that my particular, my kid, my son, my kid is learning this Shastra, this Ashtadhyayi, Chanda Kalpa Jyotish Nirukta Shiksha Vyakaranam, Vaisheshika Darshana, Nyaya Darshana, Yoga Darshana, learning Amara Purusha, Ashtadhyayi, making composing shloka by different chandas, then we must take pride, or we should be proud of it. But something opposite is going on, so we should take the hammer and break that. So as the question says, we have it, but do we really have? So that we need to think. And we know if these are the problems, what are the solutions? So the wise people also talk about solutions and not only problems. So there is one Subhashita in Sanskritam. Amantram aksharam nasti nasti moolam anaushadam ayogyah purushah nasti yojakastatra durlabha. So that yojak has to devise the thing, frame, you have the framework and everything. So there are more than thousands of such frameworks are going on in current Bharat also. And VHS, the Virat Hindustan Sangam, is one of the such yojaka doing the things. And as I said, thousands of such things are going on. And if the integral hammering is happening, then some fruitful output we can expect, and we must do it. We must have some input. So rather than expecting something from others, let's start from ourselves. Let's learn, let's teach. That's it. That's the basic fundamental. You first devote some time. I am differentiating spending time and devoting time. You can spend time, you can have those scriptures and just do and just take it away. Then just put it and just go away in your regular work. When you devote time, you are extracting something by having in mind that I will give to some younger generation. That will make some output. So learning and teaching, that's the best thing. And not only from the cultural part, that is the integral part, as I said, the paramparika bhagaha, but the Vaidyanika bhagaha, that should be exposed. But to expose that Vaidyanika bhagaha, we must have it first. We must learn it first. Okay, so we should like roar like lion, having the pride of the Shastra, and reaching unto the last person. Don't always think about the big roof that will have the big things and will go. Even if you have a single kid or 100 kid like chhatras, if a teacher is having one student or 100 student, he or she should teach with the same intensity. Then by using the following the Anusrutya, Veda Vakya Anusrutya Samgachatvam Samvadatvam, will definitely have output without any kshamka. So this is the last slide for today's talk. Vaidika Vijnanam Ganitam. I hope you enjoyed. And yes, there was a time limit, so we have to frame accordingly the things. But yes, we will definitely explore more and more, and we can learn the entire treatise also in this particular time frame, in that particular time frame, and different things. So firstly, I wholeheartedly thank you, Mr. Yojakaha, Moola Yojakaha of Virat Hindustan Sangam, Dr. Subramanian Swamiji. And then that Yojaka has to find the things. Udyamena hi siddhanti karyani na manorathaihi. So that kind of udyama done by Shri Gopiji. We had lot of conversation, lot to say about it. So thank you very much, Gopiji, for having me for this session. I really had a joy, and I hope the Shrotru Gana is having the same. I also thank Dr. Vaishnavi Nishankarji at the same instant for giving name and having fundamental discussion and explaining with us in a very fine. And as I said, the solution, what to have, what to start. So something called as Agastya Gurukulam. Since past 2 years, I am associated with. So I thank Agastya Gurukulam also for having me Shikshaka, Vignanam and Ganitam. And then also there is the same kind of cause of reviving the traditional education, parampara. संस्कृतेन संस्कृतं तत्र वर्गेपि वयं सर्वे संस्कृतेव पठामः, संस्कृतेव वदामः. केऽपि विषयाः बहवः विषयाः सन्ति. संस्कृतेन एव अध्ययनम् अध्यापनं भविष्यति. So that's a really great thing. So I am very thankful to team Agastya Gurukulam and taking pride of being integral part of Agastya Gurukulam. So yes, सर्वेभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः. सर्वेभ्यो श्रोतृभ्यो नमो नमः. इदानीम् एतावता नमः सभायै. धन्यवादः.
Oh, thank you, Manthanji, for enlightening us. I think let's see, like Sunilji, are you there? Or can you come forward? Manthanji, let's close the slides. We'll go into, we can
Okay.
remove the slides. Sharing it.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Manthanji, but Sunilji, are you there? Can you please come forward? Sunilji, I think, all right, Ji. I think there is one question from the viewer said that how to learn this Yojana and how to get the information from all those things. I think you have shared your number and email ID. I think they can check the email ID and send an email to you, and they can get the reply back, I believe, right?
Yes, yes, definitely. That can be easily done.
Yeah.
I would be honored to have
All
such
right.
communication.
Thank you. And really, I think Sunilji is missing him in action somewhere. Okay, then I mean, you have posted a lot of questions to the viewers now rather than me asking you. So, and also time is running out. Like, I think we will look into the questions that you have posted, and also we'll ask more questions to you by email. Thank you for that. And on behalf of VHS Karnataka, I thank Shri Manthanji for accepting our request and enlightening us and all of us on
I think
Vaidika
Sunilji
Vijnanam
is
and
there.
Ganitam.
धन्यवादः
Oh, he has come
Gopiji.
back.
But yes, if you can take Namaha.
Sunilji, do you have any question? Quickly, let's make it quick. It's also
Manthanji.
time is running out, so
Okay, Manthanji, am I audible?
Yes, yes, Sunilji. Shruyate.
yes.
It is audible.
Okay. So, Manthanji, thank you a lot for enlightening with your wisdom and showing us the real life applications of Vaidika Vijnanam. So, my quick question is, are there any crash courses available that the common man can produce with
For Vaidika Vijnanam or Ganitam, you are asking?
about Vaidika Vijnanam?
For Vaidika Vijnanam, yes, we may have one-to-one communication for this also, Sunilji. But yes, many crash courses such, but it needs some time. As I repeatedly said, we need to devote time. Some crash courses like in a
Yes.
week or in a period of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, it won't be possible to have fruitful output. But yes, there are many such things are going on in different routes. It is having like Samskrita Bharati and many different samstha. They are doing very such a great job. So yes, we are having it. So maybe we can enroll and we can have more communication in this one-to-one manner also.
Sure, Ji. Thank you a lot.
Okay. Thank you, Sunilji. Namaste. Namaha Sarvabhyah.
Am I audible? I think I'm audible. I think. On I think thank you, Nikunj. I think thank you, Manthanji, for enlightening us. On behalf of VHS, thank you a lot. And thank you, Nikunji. Thank you, Tejas. Thank you, Sunilji. Thank you, our technical team, and Ishwarayaji, Gargi Rakesh, and all. Last but not least, thank you, all the wonderful viewers, for making this Samvada success. Please stay safe. And please do visit and register at vhsindia.org for further amazing online sessions of VHS Samvada. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram.
No, 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 no.